Here in virtual reality, you'll find limitless new dimensions of musical creativity with EXA, the infinite instrument. Let's walk through this version of EXA, from playing your first note to recording your own songs. We begin with EXA's default layout, where musical shapes called ringers are arranged into a drum set, a curved piano, a box-shaped set of guitar strings, and a flower-shaped synthesizer. These handles follow your Vive or Oculus Touch controllers. The glowing white spheres on the handles can hit the ringers and cause the ringers to display a target graphic when they get close. You can hit a ringer by striking through it from the front, from the back, or bouncing off it like the recoil of a drum. The harder you hit a ringer, the louder it will be. With all of EXA's flexibility, you can be very creative with your playing styles. You could weave up and down through the ringers, or bounce on them, or even incorporate dance motions into your performance. You could stack ringers together as a chord that you hit all at once, or arrange the ringers in any way you want. This square is a flat-shaped ringer, which plays a sound when the tool hits or crosses its surface. The line-shaped ringers don't have a flat surface like the other shapes, so you can hit them from more directions. When you arrange these line-shaped ringers into a row, you can hit them individually, or strum through all of them with a single motion. You can teleport by pushing the top of the touchpad on the Vive controller or the top buttons on the Oculus Touch. Your handle shoots a target onto the floor, and then you can twist the controller to change the target's forward direction. This ability to teleport and turn is perfect for players with seated or front-facing VR setups. The circles on the floor are right below each element in the scene, which helps you teleport to just the right spot. Each handle in EXA has a magnetic tool connector placed on each end. When a connector is close enough to a tool, the tool snaps into place. You can snap most tools onto either end of a handle. In order to avoid some confusing and conflicting interactions, the draw and grab tools can only attach to the top connectors of each handle. When you need to move fast during a performance, you can swipe past a tool to quickly snap it in place. The Play tool provides some options for hitting ringers. It comes in 3 sizes, with the shortest being easiest to control. Snapping Play tools onto both ends of a handle opens up many new playing styles. When using a Play tool, squeezing the controller's trigger makes the ringers play shorter notes. The Mute tool can quiet or stop the sound of a ringer. It comes in 2 sizes. To use the Mute tool, you can move it close to a ringer to make its sound fade out. You can hit the ringer with the Mute tool to make its sound stop immediately. You can also play a ringer while the Mute tool is next to it, which produces shorter sounds. The None tool gives you a way to remove unwanted tools from your handle. This tool can interact with EXA's menu interfaces, but it can't hit the ringers. The Draw tool lets you create new ringers out of thin air by drawing their shapes. A drawing starts when you squeeze your controller's trigger and ends when you release it. Draw something similar to EXA's ringer shapes: ovals, rectangles, triangles, and straight lines. EXA tries to make a ringer that matches the shape, size, and position of your drawing. By default, each new ringer enters the scene using the next note in the C major scale. The Grab tool can move, resize, and select ringers. When the tool is in grabbing range, the ringer's border lights up. Squeeze your controller's trigger to start the grab. The ringer becomes selected and follows the Grab tool. You can use a second grab to stretch or shrink it. Depending on where you grab a ringer, you can resize its width, its height, or both at the same time. To select more than one ringer, start your grab in the air, then touch the ones you want to select. Each selected ringer forms a thin line that connects it to the ringer's interface. You can multi-select more quickly by swiping the tool through each ringer. The ringer's interface allows you to modify the sounds, notes, and colors of the selected ringers. All of EXA's menu interfaces use a hover interaction to select items. Move the tool close to the menu item until it completely fills with color and flashes. EXA comes with hundreds of built-in sounds, and you can also install your own. When you hover over certain menu items, you'll hear a quick preview of how that item will affect the ringers. There are many ways to change the notes that the selected ringers play. The Shift menu allows you to raise or lower the note of each ringer by 1 semitone or 1 octave. The Grid menu allows you to choose a specific note for your ringers. Each row represents 1 pitch, and each column represents 1 octave. The Intervals menu can quickly set the ringer notes using a major, minor, or chromatic scale. It uses the note of the first selected ringer as its root note, then applies the remaining notes of the scale to each ringer using the order that you selected them. By default, a ringer's color is based on its current note. In the Colors menu, you can disable automatic coloring and set a custom color using the Hue, Saturation, and Value sliders. The Selection menu has options to deselect or delete the ringers. The menu item for deleting the ringers requires a longer hover time than usual, which protects you from deleting them by accident. The Metronome interface has a round ringer that you hit to start and stop it. A status icon shows whether the metronome is locked by any loops. Use the Beats slider to set the number of beats per measure, where the metronome emphasizes the first beat of each measure. Use the Tempo slider to set the metronome's tempo, which automatically updates the playback speed of all recorded loops in the scene. Finally, you can mute the metronome's ticking sound, which you may want to do after recording a drum or rhythm loop. Use the Loop recorder to capture a segment of your performance. Hit the red ringer to begin a countdown toward the first beat of the measure. Stopping without playing anything resets the recorder. Recording begins once the countdown is complete, and hitting the red ringer again stops the recording on the nearest beat. After recording, the interface switches to playback mode with the new loop already playing. Hit the green ringers to start and stop the loop's playback. Use the ringer on the right to start a one-time playback, or use the ringer on the left to start a looping playback. After hitting a green ringer to begin, the loop will start on the nearest beat. Let's add some more loops. 3, 2, 1, go! That drum loop is 8 beats long. The label on the green ringers shows the number of beats in the loop. That loop has 4 beats. This one only has 2. The first guitar loop had 4 beats. 3, 2, 1, go! And this piano loop will end up with 16. In the application interface, you'll find a few settings. The VR Pixels slider changes the rendering resolution, where lower values can improve EXA's overall performance. Drag the Hit to Audio Latency slider to the lowest value that you can without hearing clipped ringer sounds. Use the lowest audio buffer value unless you hear frequent popping sounds in the audio. The Haptic Feedback setting toggles the controller's vibrations. You can also save and load your layouts, which include all the ringers, loops, and interfaces in a scene. When saving a layout, you can enter a title using the keyboard and add a photo with the camera tool. The camera automatically attaches to your handle, and you can snap a photo by squeezing your controller's trigger. After saving a layout, it immediately appears in the Load menu's layout list. All of your layouts are saved directly on your computer, but are also uploaded to the Steam Cloud so you can access them anywhere. Let's load one of these old layouts and we can loop our way out of this video. Now that you know all about EXA, go find it on Steam and give it a shot. I'd love to get your feedback, and I can't wait to see what you create with it.